Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for the Thursday afternoon Trading Studio webinar with Andy Lindelof and Jamie Hodge. Before we get going, let me know in the questions panel if you can hear me and see that first slide all right. All right, well, thanks everyone. So before we get going, I'm just gonna remind everyone you're muted. Use the questions panel to ask questions. If you have a question you'd like to see demonstrated by the presenters, go ahead and wait until they are taking questions from the audience. Otherwise, if you're fine with a typed out reply, just go ahead and ask at any time. We're going to record this session, have the recording up later on tonight or tomorrow. You get an email reminder from GoToWebinar tomorrow with a link to the playlist where you can locate that playback. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Why don't Andy, Jamie, what's going on today?
Not a whole lot. Kind of ugly there, Scott. Thank you, buddy. Hi, Jamie. How are you?
Andy, how are you? Did you survive the day, sir?
Actually, I had a good day. Luckily, I'm sure a lot of people that follow me on different webinars, and they know I was kind of light and actually short. So not a bad day at all for me.
Good deal.
Yeah. Hey, thanks everybody. See a lot of regulars in here. See a lot of new people too, and just want to thank you for taking time out of your day. Hopefully, market wasn't too rough on you today, but we got some good content that may help you out especially if this market continues, which it very well could in the same direction. But let's dive in. But before we do, let's talk about our little disclaimer here. Okay, we are content publishers. Okay, this is for educational purposes only. Nothing that you see here should be construed as investment advice. So we will be talking about, maybe looking at some setups and things like that. But once again, guys, we're just traders like yourself. All right. So if you are seeking professional advice, you want to seek out a registered advisor, a stockbroker, somebody that holds that Series 7 license. All right, let's take a look at the agenda for today. Market recap. I definitely have some stuff to say about that. Holly recap. Kind of a mess today. A lot of times when you get in these ugly tapes, it can be difficult for any strategy. I'm going to revisit the values plays, guys. I talked about this value plays scan that I showcased last week. I'll share it again this week in case you missed it. But I will be touching on that because I'm definitely seeing some opportunity, in some of these value plays. It looks like the money is flowing out of the growth stocks, especially the ones that are way overvalued. And moving into some of these value plays. Those are being stocks with low price to earnings ratio, and a lot of them pay a dividend. So anyway, we'll talk about that. And this is going to be a very important topic, when it stops working. And even though we're not in a bear market, you know what? Scratch it. I'm going to save that for the topic. All right. And then if we have time, we'll do the price alerts game again. We'll go through. There was a couple of winners out there, and we'll take a look at the price alerts from last week. And then if we have time, we'll do it again. Let me back out. And no, I can't back out yet. I got to finish my slides here. Sorry about that. All right. It's very important we talk about this support, education, and training here at Trade Ideas. Because we know it's a very powerful software. I was talking to a guy the other day. I was interviewing him, and he's like, yeah, it took me, several months to really understand, to go through and really get a grasp of everything. Now, he knows the software really well, but we do know if you want to just go through everything and learn everything in the software, it's going to take some time. Now, that doesn't mean you can't open it up and get some really killer alerts and scans right as, from our channel bar. Some people, they're fine with that. Other people want to dive in and, explore all the sophistication of this software. So that's great. But if just to let you know, don't feel like you have to do that, okay? Because we provide, oh gosh, no telling how many alerts and scans right when you open the box you'll have access to. So, but if you do want to learn more, there's plenty of resources, guys. We have webinars over there on the left side of the screen. You can see them every day, Monday through Thursday in the same time slot, 5 Eastern. It's usually myself, Jamie, or Steve kind of manning the helm, with the other one being a sidekick. But on Wednesday, we have a Q&A demo with Dan Merkin, our CEO, and Brad Williams, our CTO. That's a great hangout to come to ask questions, to learn more about all the bells and whistles that are coming around the corner. So great place. And last but not least, so let's talk about Barry's, the trading room, okay? Because a lot of people in there, a lot of great traders. You can learn a lot in there. If you're a new trader, I can't think of a better place to be, than this trading room. And it's free for everyone. You do not have to be a Trade Ideas subscriber. Most people, once they get in there a while and see what you could do with the software and how Barry and the other traders kind of use the software to profit and find opportunity, most people end up subscribing. All right, and another place would be down here at the bottom, the support webinar. And I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next screen here. So it will show you more about this support webinar and how you can get into it. Well, first of all, if you're in Barry's room, we do hijack it for every day at 12 Eastern time, Monday through Friday. I'll be doing the one tomorrow. And it's just a daily support session for people to come in and ask questions, and we can demonstrate it for it using the live stream there and the chat room. So that's the best place to go if you have questions. Okay, Scott will show you an email that you can send in a question if you have it, but it's much better if you get a visual. And this is what you get in this daily support session. So we're in there and you can get a visual, and we can show you, not just, text back to you what you can do. All right. That's trade-ideas.com/live if you're not in the trading room and you want to access it. All right, well, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to back out and we'll pull up the market here after I get my drink of water. And we're going to talk about the Qs and the spiders here today, the spies and the Qs. Zoom in just a little bit. And first I'm going to bring up the Qs this time, because this is the one that's been kind of leading us down. And this is why I wasn't surprised at all today when the spies broke the 50. At some point when you're getting this kind of pressure in the market, look how long ago, 3 days ago, the Qs broke the 50 for a third time, and this time there was some follow through. You got 3 red bars in a row, found some nice little support over here, and thus we had a wick and a bounce closing off lows on a big volume day. Now, that was a technical bounce there. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, this is definitely some selling going on, some reallocation, if you will, maybe out of the tech stocks into the value plays like I talked about earlier. We'll have to see if this continues, or are people going to start finding value in some of the tech plays. Tomorrow, in the next few days, we'll tell. I'm not real bullish, but nonetheless, doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the price does. So that is kind of the area you want to watch. You want to watch yesterday's lows tomorrow and the next few days in the Qs, because if we do if we do break that area, we're going to be breaking some. Let's call it what it is. It's a strong pivot level there. You got a high here, finally got through it, came back, tested it. Prior resistance now becomes support. Came support again today, and we'll see if it can hold off. If it doesn't, I would bet, great odds to somebody that, we're probably going to come down and maybe touch this 200-day moving average. Like I say, time will tell, but the Qs are the ones that's been kind of leading us down lately, and I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. They were really fighting off this for some time now, the 50 period moving average, you know, ever since they broke it here, 4 months ago, bounced a couple of times and got close here and bounced there, bounced on this day as well. And then finally today it had enough. Watching the Q sell off, it finally kind of threw in the towel and sold off. And once again, we have another pivot level right where they bounced. Not as defined as the Qs, okay, because on this day right here we did crash below it and we closed well below it. So this is not a like I said, a defined pivot level like we see in the Qs. So I'd be watching those Qs tomorrow for any weakness below today's low. You know, will really, I think, accelerate some selling in the market. But time will tell. But Jamie, I'm not. Excuse me. Anything you want to add while I drink some water here?
No, you laid it out pretty well there. You know, some of these Holly plays were, you know, kind of similar to what we saw in the SPY initially when we had that first little bounce there. What, about 45 minutes into the open, right? Everybody's like, yeah, we're saved. And then we came on back down and broke that low and went lower. And some of these Holly plays pretty much did the same thing. So I can go ahead and grab it here. And we'll go over the Holly stuff. You just let me know when you can see my screen there, Andy.
I can, Jamie.
All
I got
right.
it right now.
Okay. So welcome to my desktop, everybody. As you can see here, got the Holly Trades blotter up. And if we just count up the trades over here on the channel bar, we had 9 kicked out from 1.0, 2.0 staying relatively quiet with 1, and Neo sneaking in there with 4 trades. So we only had 14 signals as a whole. We can see them all here. And typically, you know, what we like to talk about are, were there any stocks where the conservative and moderate profit spread was large? And could we have attempted to glean some of that while it was actually happening before these results were, you know, hindsight right now, but before this spread developed? So there's really only one worth notating today, and that was the RMNI trade. So let me go ahead and pull that bad boy up. And there we have it. So number one, let's just take a look. How was the volume today? Well, finished today at 14.03. Of course, Neo kicked that one out, and Neo's typically looking at the higher volume stocks on the relative scale. But hey, if you're just looking at RMNI, not RMNT, RMNI today, you wouldn't think that there was anything wrong with the market today. I mean, this little guy just pretty much went up all day, took a little pullback. A couple of things I really like about this trade. Number one, the volume that we can see down here. Number two, not a bad entry signal right here. Holly calling the play with that statistical probability at 970. And then my eyes are drawn to this level right here because once again, and we've seen this time and time again, giving us the signal with the potentiality of a secondary pattern unfolding, and that is what we saw here. Now, keep in mind, this was pullback long that generated the trade, but it just happened to coincide in the same 15-minute bar with this opening range breakout that occurred right there in the same candle. And then we had a nice little up move today. All right, so pretty good percentage move from 970, and I think we topped out up here on that candle, on that wick at 1072. So not a bad percentage gain for a max gain there. Of course, market pulled it back down. But even if you held into the close, you're looking at 177 bucks based on risking $100 per trade, which is what all these values are. That's why you can see all the stops right at 100. So not a bad spread going into the close, and even more potentiality up here at the high. So that's pretty much the only one that's presenting a decent spread today. And of course, the reason Holly got out, we can see right here in the shaded area, profit save. So once again, Holly not being the most proficient exiter, but we rely on Holly to bring us those statistically weighted plays. Now, when we talk about trade arounds today, things that got stopped out by a hair, boy, there's some good ones today. First on the list here would be Cutter. CUTR. And this is pretty much the epitome of a second mouse trade here, or barely getting stopped out. Just being a little bit early to the party here. All boils down to the timing. Holly calls the short play right here at 32.06. Same candle, boom, tickles that stop level at 32.93. And then what does it do? Clearly on this one, just barely wicked through. Once we see this candle close, we see this one open lower, or even if we waited for this candle to close, that's a pretty good confirmation that indeed this stop area is acting as a pivot point. We can see right there, boy, it just rolled over and went straight down. Did exactly what we hoped it would do. So a great trade around opportunity in Cutter today. If you saw Holly get stopped out, or maybe you got stopped out as well, to go right back into that thing once we had this candle close below that stop area. So not a bad one there. Another one worth mentioning would have been one to the long side. Same song, same dance, just to the long side. And of course, depending on how long you've been in the market, you know that sometimes when the market's having a hard time, we're getting some selling. The oil and gas stocks like to do the opposite. And here we have Exxon, big boy Exxon, getting a buy signal right here at 57.84. In the following 15-minute candle, boom, we go down here and just barely poke through that stop area. Pretty much the same that we saw in Cutter, just to the upside, just barely tickled that stop. We get this opening candle here. Of course, if you waited till that one closed, you probably felt like you might be chasing. But man, it was a quick regression right back up to that entry signal and then a move higher on the day. So not a bad trade around opportunity in Exxon either. And once again, it's all about how did the stock react around the pivot area. Nice little kiss and right back up again. Those are the ones that typically have the most potential on a second mouse gets the cheese type of a trade. So Cutter, XOM, SDGR was not bad. Keeping it got a little bit more of an excursion above the stop area, as we can see up here. It's been about 30 minutes above there. But all you really have to do is focus when it comes back down through that area. It's always good. You might want to set a price alert so you don't have to keep watching it over and over, look at other things. So this one spent a little bit more time, not too far away from that stop loss area, but once it curled back over here, penetrated that area right there, just down, down, down. And this doesn't look like that extreme of a move, but keep in mind that stop area was 77.34, and at the lows down here, we got all the way down to, well, let's call that 71. So a good little bit over a 6-point move in that SDGR once it came back through that stop area there. And 3 good trade around opportunities, Andy. 1 decent spread between conservative and moderate profit. That's about all the highlights I got for Holly today on a trade count of about 14.
All right, Jamie, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, buddy. You just send it back.
There you go.
All right, let me reduce the size of this back to its original. There we go. All right, guys. So last week I created a new scan, and it's called Value Plays. Let me pull it up over here. And I think you guys, it may behoove you to take a look at some of these. All right, there's different ways. Obviously, you can sort. That's what's great about our windows here at Trade Ideas. You don't need a lot of filters and configurations. You're going to see in this one right here, I just have a few. Basically, just looking for stocks over $3. Price to earnings ratio has to be less than 15 or lower. Okay, you typically, when you're looking for value, that's probably the key metric people use, is a low price to earnings ratio. EPS, I'm looking for stocks that are at least, making money. Earnings growth, minimum of 0, so they have to have some earnings growth. So just a couple of filters that I'd like to see. You could take those out if you'd like, but nonetheless, I'm seeing some stocks that are, performing very well, in the market, especially compared to, what we're seeing, in the major indices, especially the tech stocks. So that one's probably not one, but it's looks like some sort of bank in Rio de Janeiro, something like that. Sally Mae looks like it may be trying to find some nice relative strength there. Remember what the market's doing right now. The last 3 days, this stock has been strong. This is maybe one you want to put on your radar. I know it's got a couple of wicks up here, but nonetheless, this one's not doing good on the daily chart. But once again, last 3 or 4, look at the last 4 days here, you know, relative strength. You got to call it what it is. This is one that I may stick an alert right above this 10-period moving average, and if it takes it out, maybe it's something you want to entertain. A lot of these you're going to find, guys, pay a dividend. Okay. Another way, now I could sort this by price to earnings ratio. I think you got to be careful on that because you are going to see a lot of stocks that aren't performing. There's one that's, so you're going to find a lot of these stocks kind of going sideways, or a lot of them's going to be up over the last few days. There's a nice one there, an MX. Once again, it's a value play. Okay, look at this PE ratio, how low. Okay, stock doesn't pay a dividend, but nonetheless, you have a nice cash to debt. You got some growth and a very low PE. Thus, look at this move in the last 2 days. This one may continue higher. May want to stick something in there. So I know it's not sexy like the growth stocks, guys, but sometimes, you know, it's better to play a less sexy stock and make money than keep going back to what's not working like it used to, and find yourself, you know, fighting an uphill battle. I did want to show you something else that I don't use, but this peg. A lot of people, what they do is find pegs between $0 to $1, and I didn't really study up on this. It's not something I really play a whole lot, but I will when it comes to markets like we're seeing right now. But anyway, maybe you want to take a look at the stocks, like I said, that have a peg from 0, and all you got to do is sort by the peg, and you can maybe find some opportunity in some stocks that are, look at that, man. You're seeing a lot of these stocks that, unlike the market, are holding up very well, you know, lately. Nice one right there. So, you know, don't discount this. I'm going to go ahead and say, share it again, just in case you weren't here last week and didn't get it. But keep an eye on this, and you know, you can come in and add some more filters if you're seeing too many stocks on here. Maybe something that you like. Maybe you only want to see the stocks that are up on the day. You could do that too, or just sort by change from close, and you know, you can find the ones that are, you know, doing well today. So anyway, let me go ahead and I'm going to share this with you, and then we're going to move on to another topic, which I think is very important. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the chat window there. Oops. And it is value plays. All right, so yeah, don't I wouldn't just, you know, shun something like this just because it's really stocks that sometimes can be real boring. But hey, sometimes you got to you know, you got to follow the money, and right now the money is coming out of growth and into value plays. And like I said, I mean, you want to sit there and keep fighting Tesla as it goes down, you know, think it's going to return to glory days, or do you want to put some, you know, put some money in? And you can find some of these that will move. So anyway, I think that's a really good little handy scan to have with you in times like this. At least if nothing else, maybe it'll keep you out of trouble. And let me pull my questions. Let me panel back up since I restarted this thing. It looks like Jamie's handling them just fine. All right, so a big problem, major problem I see a lot of, not only new traders, but experienced traders making, is not being able to adapt and change, you know, quick enough. We all know that if you get into a bearish tape and you keep trying the same thing over and over that's not working, it can drain your account pretty quick. And it's always good to understand that. And not only, I mean, you know, no one's going to argue that we're in a and say we're in a bear market right now. Of course not. but at the same time, it's a different tape. Okay, so the spies are not the same spies we saw over here, you know, as the market's going up. Okay, we've kind of rolled over the last 3 weeks, and now we're below our moving averages, and it's really been nasty, you know, over the last 2 or 3, you know, couple of weeks here. And I know just by all the great traders that work here are struggling with their P&L. Okay, so when you get that sense that things are changing, you really have to adapt really quick, and you keep going back, you know, to the well. All right, you gotta find something new. So what I'm going to show you today is one of my favorite swing trading scans, and this is the kind of action you see, and this is called pullback above 50 SMA long swing. And I'll share this with you too, because I can promise you in a bull market, this thing has some great setups. And you're going to see a lot today as we pull these up. So basically what this is looking for, okay, is, let me just pull up a chart and you'll see. Okay. Let's find a better example than that. Okay, this is a good example, and actually this one held up okay today, but it's looking for stocks that are strong. And you may ask me, how do I know it's strong? Well, I have a filter in there that says it has to be above the 50 period moving average. So at least I know over the last 50 days, it's got a nice, you know, a chart to it. Typically, excuse me, sloping from left to right, lower left to upper right. It's got to be above its 50-day moving average. That makes sense. But it's looking for stocks that are pulling back on a 5-day time frame, and they're doing a bar reversal today. Okay, this is a great example. This happened this morning. It went off and took out. Get my marker again. Okay, there's my pullback over the 5-day time period. And today it took out this high, and that's why we got a signal. And that's why this arrow right here is notifying us that, hey, there's where your alert went off. That's good stuff there. Good information. That's the kind of chart I want to play in a bull market. And this can really really pay in a bull market. But I'm going to show you what we're seeing now, okay? And this is how you get suckered in, because we're in a different market now. Even though we're not in a bear market, the tape is definitely bearish. We can all agree to that. And the quicker you can determine, okay, that the tape has changed, the faster you're going to be able to adapt and not make the same mistakes over and over. And trust me, I see it all the time, even with experienced traders. So let's just take a look at some of these stocks that came through here today, and we'll kind of zoom in so we can see the action. Go pull it in here. All right, great example. Okay, this is a setup that I would typically love in a bull market. All right, this pulled back. Okay, you had a nice little spinning top yesterday, and look what happened this morning. Took out that high, and for the rest of the day, it sold off. Let's take a look at this. Four actually did okay today. That one, maybe one to watch. That one held up okay today. NRG, there's another one. Look at there, ticked right above. You know, this was, now these are all early in the morning. We'll see some later as well, but there you know, you're suckered in, and next thing you know, it's turning around and going to lows. Let's see if I can get some more. Let me go a little bit later in the day. I'm getting all these early in the first tick. Let's at least go to the second.
Andy, are you just looking at the today's history?
Yes, I'm sorry. This is today's history.
Okay, we just had a person saying they have the scan, but they're only seeing 7 stocks. Looks like you got a lot more than 7, yeah?
Oh, well, do you have a don't repeat in there? Well, let me check. Maybe did I go yesterday? No, it's on today.
Yeah.
Let me just do it just to make sure again. Now I do have one called pullback above 50 SMA. That's a T window. You may be looking at the T window. This is an A window. Okay, it's a little bit different. I converted it. I collaborated and converted it into an A window, but I had to tweak some of the filters. So you're definitely going to get a few more in this one.
Right. He said it's a T window. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that would be the reason. All right. So let's take a look at some of these ones that came through around 9 o'clock here. there's a great example. I mean, got you in, suckered you. Typically, that's a great little pattern right there. You got what, 5 down days, 4 down days, and you have a bar reversal, and look what happens. Sucker you in, and then it just turns over and rolls right back around. Well, that one actually held up okay. And there you go. Big old wick to the upside. Now you're underwater. Decay. That actually held up okay. That may be, but you know what? Look, it's a petroleum. This is the oil stocks is a little bit different. They're the only ones that performing. People are finding value in oil. Okay, pays a dividend. Okay, the although EPS is not all that great, but nonetheless. So some of the there's another one right there. Popped through and then got ugly. So I think you guys are getting the theme here. You know, it's kind of the seeing a look at that one right there. Great example. Just bar reversal. Look at this volume bar come in. A lot of people probably got suckered in on this move. Got a nice little bar reversal. Boom, slap back down. You're going to see this in a lot of strategies that you're running to the bull side in this tape. Okay. And if you don't recognize it and understand that I don't want to call it smart money because I think dumb money is just as smart as a smart money, but people are using this opportunity when stocks goes to highs to sell stocks. There are more sellers right now in the marketplace than there are buyers. Okay. Don't make it more complicated than it is. So obviously when they get an opportunity, they've been underwater and they all of a sudden get a push, boom, they're selling. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Now, I don't know how long this tape is going to last. We haven't had a 2-year bear market in a long time. I'm not saying we're going to go there. It seems like lately our bear markets last like 3 days, Jamie. But it seems like that's been the case over the last several years. But nonetheless, you have to anticipate it. Now I'm going to share this because it's a great scan, and if I back test this, it's going to do very, very well. Now over the last 3 or 4 days, it's not going to do very well because of the market. And this is why I tell people, you can, when you back test something, I'll see if the back tester is running. A lot of times in after hours, it runs pretty slow, but I'll fire it up just in case. But while I'll talk while it's going on, I'll pull it back. But the point I want to make is if you have a nice strategy that performs very well and back tests very well, a good trader can make that work a much better, much more profitable than it works if you just know when to turn it on and when to leave it off. Okay. Jamie's can tell you that for a fact. He's doing a little testing right now with long strategies in a E-Trade account, and luckily he's doing small size because he had some internet trouble today. But he can tell you, if not implemented in the right market, you're going to get run over. I don't care how well your strategy back test.
I can verify that. Yes.
Yeah, he can verify that.
Hey, and Andy, once this back test gets done, would you mind popping into configure and showing your 50 period SMA settings?
I sure will, and I'll also share the. Okay, so now this is a 3-day hold. So you're not seeing the recent entries that we have in here that closed out, that will be closing out in the next couple of days if they haven't stopped out yet. So this is going to probably get worse, but you can see the drawdowns. Okay, when you get in a kind of a bearish tape, whether it's for 2 days to 3 days or 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to get these drawdowns. And a good trader, simply by knowing when to apply their strategies, or if you're not even paper trading or not even auto trading, if you're just using your alerts to benefit in the marketplace, know when to take the alerts and not. Right now is not a good alerts to be. A time to be taking too many longs. I hate to tell you that, just the way it is, but yeah, let me do that for you, Jamie. Okay, this is simply if I go into config, it's a new high. Now it has been optimized, so you're going to see some other filters in here that would not be in my base strategy. But the key ones are, and I'll pull up my thing, the key ones are, change from 50-day SMA, okay? Just by putting a simple 0.01 in the min, that means it has to be above the 50-day moving average, okay? Position in 5-day range, it has to be below the 50% mark, okay? Position in, that's about it. Oh, previous day range. This is a key one. This is what tells you it's about to take out yesterday's high, or it's already taken out yesterday's high. It has to be close to or taking out yesterday's high for it even to come in your screen. So those are the key metrics for sure, or the filters that are in here. The rest of them are just optimized settings. All right, well, let me go ahead and share this, and then we'll take a look, guys. But just if you take anything away from the day, just please, because I've seen it too many times, is know when to back away. Know when to change. If you don't like shorting, I know some people don't like shorting. That's fine, but you need to pull. If you don't have a backhand, in other words, you need to just go sit on the side for a sideline for a while, or just be play small size, maybe scale in, if you're looking for longer positions or something like that. But you have to trade differently when the tape gets like this. I always find myself coming around and talking about this topic when the tape gets like this, because I've seen traders over the year, and I know how difficult it is, especially ones that really haven't traded a bear market yet, and it can be brutal. All right, let me see. Just kept checking up on them. I'm sorry, reading some questions here. Hi, Andy from Bearish Mindset. Can you suggest a scan for stocks that you suggest just hanging out without nearby support and would potentially show? Well, I tell you what, I see what you're saying, KJ. I tell you a good one is this one right here, reversed. Okay, so I'm going to share this, and then when you get it, what you might want to do is just duplicate the window, and then just take it and reverse it. Just all you gotta do is flip, and that's going to reverse everything. Okay, and let's take a look and see how these are working. There may be something in here. Oh, it's still loading. Okay, it's probably going to be pretty full, actually. So this is going to be just the opposite of the other scan. Okay, so it's going to have to be below its 50-day moving average. Okay, and it has, just think about all the filters I just showed you, right? And they're going to be reversed. Okay, and we'll take a look at some of these. It has now quit, and not as many as I thought, but that would be coming through here, unless it's still loading. No, it's not loading anymore. Well, that's kind of ugly. I wouldn't trade the first. There's a beautiful one right there. This is exactly what I'm talking about. See, it's below its 50-day moving average. There's your 50 up here, so it's below that, and you've had 3 up days. So just think about just the opposite of what we were looking at, and now look what happened. It reversed below that, took out that low, and look at the follow through. Now, I did have a little nasty pop up right there, which is typical in shorting. That's why they say, a lot of people, you hear the old line that a bear market wipes out both bulls and longs. I mean, bulls and bears. Because it's tough. It's tough because you do have some nasty bounces a lot of times when you are short, and but nonetheless, let's take a look at some more too. See if we got anything else in here. Another great example. Look at the daily here. Okay, now once again, did it early, bounced back. You had to sit through a bounce, but then finally rolled over. So this may be one you want to put in your quiver, so to speak. I don't know what's going on there. It's a mess. But I'm not going to share this, because all you have to do, guys, is duplicate it and flip it. And the reason I'm not is because I would probably go in here and make a few, changes and things like that, just to make it more more conducive to the short side. But I will share this one. Okay, pull back. There it is. And guys, when we do get back into a bull market, and we will, and this can be a very good, this is, like I said, it's one of my favorite swing trading alerts. And I'll put it in the, and you know what, this week we may just look at some of the other ones and call it early today. Such a nasty market. Okay. Pullback swing. There you go. And that's a good one. You know, the original T window is the one in our Trader's Vault. So probably not a whole lot of people have this one right here. So I would definitely put that, you know, take a look at this, guys, because you do find some really good opportunity in there. All right, let's see. Can you show me the reverse trick again? Yeah, Vincent, it's real easy. Just look, duplicate the window. You always want to duplicate the window. That way you're not messing up your current window. So just duplicate it. Okay, and you want to right click, go to configure. And right here in the lower right is the flip button. Just click on it. It does everything for you. So all you have to do is hit OK, and you have it flipped. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, you know, algos and how they take care of retail, you know, investors. It's, you know, if you slow things down, you know, you can avoid, you know, as I think being taken advantage of. But if you're a day trader, it's very hard to, because they just, especially if you're a scalper and you know, trade with really tight stops, you know, 15, 20-cent stops, you know, they're gonna figure out ways to get you. But especially in volatility like this. All right, here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna take a break until this market gets better from the price alerts, but we are gonna go take a look. And Jamie, unless I made a mistake, there were a couple of good shorts in here, and maybe the guys are here and they can vouch for me. But well, I know Aja had a nice call and rig to the tune of over 14% to the long side. There's the call right there. And there's your sector. There's your oil sector. People are finding value in oil. Yep. But Neo, David G, Neo short, was that a short? If it was, that was to the tune of also about 14.5%.
That was a short. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I thought we did it right last week, and I don't know about this one because I may have messed up. But Waleed, was gain supposed to be a short or a long? Because if it was a short, you didn't do all that well. But if it was a long and I made a mistake, then you had a nice 26% gain versus a 26% loss. But I don't know. I try to remember which way when you guys are going, you know, putting the price alert below the current price. Okay, Waleed, hey, he gets the Honest John trophy today. So yeah, I thought I had him right. But all right, I tell you what, guys. Yeah, the market's kind of a mess right now, and plus, yeah, I want to hold off and wait till kind of the market settles down. And not only that, what I wanted to do, just in case anybody had any charts or that stocks they wanted me to take a look at, maybe it's something that you're in, and maybe you're in the money, or maybe you're in a little pain, and you just want to, you know, my opinion or Jamie's opinion on what you should do with it. I don't know, Jamie, what do you think? We should go ahead and do the price alerts?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
there's no harm in it. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult, is all.
Yeah,
I mean, it's you know, Steve was talking about, you know, hey, things don't get kind of stable, you know, next trade of the week.
Yeah.
might be, cash.
Yeah, let's do that. But let's wait because the charts are really a mess right now. And honestly, I would probably be doing is looking at a lot of fades for stocks moving up on the short side. But Mike, we're talking about price alerts that you can set on the software. So what we typically do is I ask for everybody to give me a stock and a stock price of an alert that they think a stock may be about to go down or whatever direction. But and then we set what's called price alerts on there. We share them out with everybody. But I'm gonna hold off this week. I tell you. Let's see. Quick question. Sure. Well, yeah. Any questions you guys have, just go ahead, and we got some time left. If I wanted to have my own customized scan, can I contact the team? I expected to be charged for that. Well, we're not going to charge you for you, Waleed, and let you know. We don't mind helping out with scans. Now, if it requires a lot of custom formulas, that may be a different story. But if you're just looking for help in configuring a scan, no, just send it to trade-ideas.com, and we'll definitely get you started, and it will let you know if it can't be done. But most cases it can, and we'll help get you started for sure. Okay, if it's customizable, yeah, just send it to info. Just put your parameters, be specific as you can. With your parameters and what you're looking for, and we'll definitely help you get it started if it's something we can do. Okay. Sometimes people are looking for too many if, when, thens. That's where we get in trouble. Okay, because we cannot go back and look at prior candles intraday. We cannot go back and look at prior candles on the daily. Okay, highs, lows, things like that. Maybe we can, but position and ranges. We can get pretty creative. So send an email in, and we'll definitely help you. Can you take a look at BIVI? Yeah, it's kind of ugly. Closed below the 200-day moving average. Yeah, I don't know if you're in it or you're maybe looking to buy it. This is the kind of downward spiral that I don't like to mess with. It's totally broken all its moving averages, broken its trends. It's kind of right now. You got a little bit of a support, nothing major right there. And then if it breaks that, it could go back from whence it came 2 months ago. It looks like it's a pharmaceutical. So yeah, they've been known to round trip, over a certain period of time. But yeah, I wish I could paint a prettier picture for you. I would want it to bounce tomorrow, or because otherwise it's probably going to come down here to the 10 range. It's my personal opinion there. But like I said, you may I don't know if you're in it or what, but all right. Let's see. Okay, Randall asked, can indicators be set up in a scan? I know she mean ISI.
Yeah, and he went on to say if RSI exceeds a certain amount on the 15-minute chart, and we do have 15-minute RSI. Yeah, so yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to put a. So if you're looking for RSI, like Jamie was saying, you can find it here in the 15-minute chart. So all you got to do is add filter, and let's say you don't want it unless it exceeds a certain amount. Let's say so in other words, you want it to go below the 15.
Or a minimum,
A minimum. Okay. So let's say you want to put a 30 in here. So if it dives below, the stock dives min or max, right? You can do it either way. Okay. So in this case right here, if I have a max 30, you will not see anything in your alert window until the 15-minute RSI gets below 30. So you can definitely use these inside inside a configuration for sure. KJ says, let's see, I wanted to know how to get those stocks that have no support nearby and to find them a few days in advance. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, that's going to be, I have to think about that one, KJ. I know exactly what you're talking about, but it may require a custom formula for that. But if you want to send something in to info@trade-ideas, just do that, and we'll. That's something I need to think about. I think it's going to require a custom though. All right, guys. Let's see. Long VMD. Okay. Aja's throwing out some. Well, it's trying to bounce off the 200-day. That's. I don't know where you're long from, but it did bounce there. Kind of like the market bounced as well. That would be my bogey if it broke down. Below that, could cause some trouble if it breaks this support. Plus the 200-day could have a quick move down to the 50-day. Okay, Bill says on the opening price gap, can a column be set up at the open price only? So only can see the, yeah, Bill, yes, we could do that. We actually have, we have the data point. Anytime we have the data point, we could do a custom. Yeah, so send it in to email, send it to info, and we'll take a look at it and probably have to do a custom for you there that you could just make a column for. Joseph, send also to info@trade-ideas.com. It's I don't have the time to show you the demo, but we have a great video that just demos having a hard time today, Jamie. The Holly for you perfectly. All right, guys, a lot of great questions out there today. I'm going to bring Scott in here. He's gonna walk us out. And yeah, thank you for your great questions and for your attendance today. And let me pull up the Scott here. And if he's around, I think he is.
Hey, thanks everyone. Yeah, just a couple items on the way out, like Jamie mentioned. Make sure you grab that earnings ebook. It's very useful whenever earnings season comes around. It's got some strategies in there for you to employ and use to your advantage. Also, search for Trade Ideas Podcast wherever you listen to your pods. Add us as a subscription so you're ready to download the new episode as soon as it comes out. And in the meantime, check out the previous episodes with interviews with Sean McLaughlin and a bunch of guests. They are very insightful. As a code opportunity, use it to save 15% off a new subscription or the newest installment of your upgrade subscription from Standard Premium. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Find Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. You can also find Steve Gomez at Today Trader. We also have at Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas Pro is the Facebook handle to follow and like, and share everything with your friends. And go to info@tradeIdeas.com for any questions at all. Just submit your email question and our help desk will sort you out as soon as we can. Thanks everyone. The recording of this will be up later on tonight or tomorrow morning, and you'll get an email reminder tomorrow from GoToWebinar with a link to the playlist where you can find it. Thanks everyone. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks everybody. I'll see some of you tomorrow in the support webinar.
See you tomorrow.